New Deep Dive.
Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're jumping into something pretty huge that's been making waves, this massive $6.5 billion acquisition by OpenAI.
Right.
They're bringing in Jony Ive, the legendary Apple designer, and his team.
Yeah, quite the headline grabber.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like OpenAI's biggest move yet, doesn't it? Clearly signaling they're getting into consumer hardware, puts them right up against Apple, potentially.
Absolutely. A head-on collision course, you could say.
But then, almost immediately, there's this twist. Promotional videos for this huge deal suddenly pulled offline. Some kind of legal challenge popped up.
Yeah, that part was unexpected.
So what's actually going on here? That's our mission for this deep dive.
Yeah.
Unpack the details of this high-stakes deal and this trademark lawsuit that surfaced so fast.
Mm-hmm.
We want to understand not just the what, but the why. Why does this seemingly small legal fight tell us so much about the crazy competition in AI hardware right now?
Exactly. It's a fascinating window into that whole space.
And we've dug through reports from quite a few reputable tech and legal news sources to get a full picture. So let's get into it.
Okay, so what we're really seeing is OpenAI making this incredibly ambitious jump, moving beyond just, software.
Right.
This deal, it was announced back in May, an all-stock deal, which is interesting in itself.
Valued at $6.5 billion. That's staggering.
It is a huge number, and it brings in some serious design firepower.
Yeah, it's not just the money, is it? It's Jony Ive. The name behind the iPhone, the iPad, so many iconic Apple products. That's what makes this really stand out.
Definitely. And it's not just Ive the deal brings them, plus around 55 engineers and researchers into the OpenAI fold.
So a whole team, basically.
Yeah.
A big injection of hardware and design
A
thinking.
significant one, but it's also worth noting his other design firm, Lovefrom, it's staying independent.
Oh, interesting. So Lovefrom isn't being totally swallowed up.
No, it'll keep operating on its own, but it will collaborate closely with OpenAI. It seems like a way for them to tap into Ive's specific process without maybe integrating his whole existing setup.
That makes sense. It keeps Lovefrom distinct. But let's OpenAI leverage that unique design expertise. It's a subtle point, but probably important for how they work together.
I think so.
And this whole pivot to hardware, they're talking about a 2026 launch. That really shows the scale of their ambition here.
It does. We could genuinely see OpenAI branded devices competing directly with, well, the established players like Apple very soon.
Yeah, physical products you can actually hold, not just AI models running in the cloud.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
A completely different game. And, well, that ambitious vision hit a snag almost right away.
Right, the lawsuit.
The core issue was OpenAI having to pull down promotional stuff videos with Sam Altman and Jony Ive from their website, from YouTube. These materials were pushing something with IO branding.
Okay, IO.
Yeah.
And I heard those materials were still up on X, formerly Twitter.
That's right, which is curious. It suggests the takedown was targeted, likely due to the legal order.
So not voluntary. A federal judge issued some kind of restrictive order because of an ongoing trademark dispute.
Exactly.
So who's bringing the suit? And what's their beef, exactly?
The plaintiff is a company called IYO Inc. They actually make AI devices, too.
Oh, so a direct competitor, potentially.
Seems like it. And their claim is trademark infringement. They're saying OpenAI's use of IO confuses customers because IYO has a registered trademark for IYO.
Wait, because IO sounds like IO.
Uh-huh. They're arguing it's a homophone. Sounds the same.
Wow, okay.
And, get this, they also claim OpenAI copied their business model, specifically developing screenless AI devices.
Copied their business model. That's a pretty aggressive claim on top of the trademark issue.
It really is. Suggests they see OpenAI as not just using a similar name, but potentially replicating their whole strategy.
A homophone claim is one thing, but claiming confusion before a product is even out seems unusual, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How did the judge react to that?
That's where it gets really interesting. At a hearing on June 18th in San Francisco, the judge, Trina L. Thompson, apparently indicated she was open to IYO's argument.
Open to it,
Yeah.
even without a product.
Yeah. She suggested the promotional videos themselves, the ones pushing IO, might already be causing confusion in the marketplace.
So the promotion itself could be infringing, even if the product isn't for sale yet.
That seems to be the judge's potential line of thinking. It implies the damage, or at least the confusion, could be happening now just from the marketing buzz.
And what's the impact IYO is claiming?
They stated their business momentum was sharply curtailed right after OpenAI made their big announcement. So they're arguing a direct negative impact already.
Okay, so they feel the heat immediately. What's OpenAI saying in response?
OpenAI's defense, basically, is that the claims are purely hypothetical. They argue it's insufficiently ripe for court because, well, there's no actual I/O product out there causing confusion yet.
So OpenAI is saying too soon. IYO is saying it's hurting us now.
Pretty much a classic legal standoff.
Now, amidst all this, the pulled videos, the lawsuit, the big question a lot of people have is the actual $6.5 billion deal for Jony Ive's team still happening? Or did this legal mess derail it?
That's a really important clarification. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, who's usually very well-sourced on this stuff,
Right.
he reports the acquisition itself is on track and has not been dissolved or anything of that nature.
Okay, so the core deal is proceeding. That's key.
Absolutely. The legal fight seems focused squarely on the branding, the IO name, and the promotion around it, not the underlying acquisition of the team and their expertise. The strategic move itself is still very much moving forward.
Got it. So the engine is still running, but the paint job is currently being contested in court.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, let's zoom out then. What does this whole episode, this sudden branding dispute, tell us about the wider AI hardware market? It feels like things are heating up fast.
Incredibly fast. I think this dispute really highlights the intense competition bubbling up. You have multiple companies racing to figure out the next big consumer device beyond phones and laptops, likely powered by AI, maybe without traditional screens.
Like a gold rush almost.
Exactly like a gold rush, not just for the best tech, but for market position, for brand recognition, even just for mind share. People need to know what to call these things. Who makes the cool ones?
And Trademark, something that might seem secondary, becomes a really early battleground.
It seems so. You need to stake your claim, define your territory, even if it's just a name or a sound, before the market gets too crowded. They're trying to lock down identity early on.
So just to recap the key points here. OpenAI makes a huge $6.5 billion play, bringing in design royalty with Jony Ive to build hardware. Big strategic shift.
Massive shift.
Then, bam, a surprise legal challenge over a sound-alike trademark forces them to pull promotional materials even before a product exists.
Right. And while the underlying deal seems safe, this trademark fight, this IO versus IYO, it's more than just a minor legal footnote, isn't it?
It feels like it. It's kind of a microcosm of these bigger battles playing out. The legal complexities, the intense competition in AI right now.
Yeah, it's like a little case study showing how even early moves, subtle branding choices can lead to these really public, unexpected hurdles. It's about grabbing that future brand territory.
Exactly. Which leaves us with a pretty interesting thought, doesn't it? As AI gets woven deeper into our lives through new kinds of devices, how vital will brand identity become? Even down to names that just sound similar. Could these seemingly minor legal fights, like this one over IO and IO, actually end up shaping the whole landscape, influencing not just who builds the next generation of AI hardware, but maybe even what it feels like to use based on the brands that went out?
It's fascinating to consider. Will the big battles be fought in court over phonetics just as much as in labs over algorithms?
Something definitely worth pondering as we watch this space evolve.